Yes, sir. We back with another one, baby. This is HomeFLD The Podcast. I got a great guest with me. It's my God,
Let's do it.
a mentor of mine, Mr. Kevin White, baby. Appreciate you coming to the show, boss.
Man, it's funny, we met in the hallway in the cafe at K College.
And it's been
a minute now. You couldn't get rid of me. I was like, wait a minute.
I need it.
This young freshman looks like he needs a little.
You
don't know where he's going. You don't know what he's doing. So come here, man.
So when I first got on campus, man, BJ got me hip. You know,
right.
These are the people that you need to be tapped in with,
sure.
locked in with, and you know, because Kathleen, your wife, being an athletic trainer in the football program, and you know, the head athletic trainer of all athletics.
Yep.
He was like, boom, that's number one. Locked in there. That was a done deal day one.
For sure.
Then he's like, all right, now she got a husband. He coaches basketball here. He know everything and then some.
Oh, try to.
I'm like, say less. So me and K White chopped it up in the hallway, bro, and it's been history since then,
Ever since, yeah.
Appreciate you coming and taking the time out your bit, because you in season right now.
Yeah, man, we're grinding it right now. This is people think March Madness is busy, bro. January, February. You can't get to March unless you win in January, February.
Exactly.
So we play tomorrow, but I got a good boss, two good bosses. And I get to pass with him with Pittman, so I'm good.
Yes, sir. Good company.
Yeah.
So I have Mr. Kevin White with me. I call him K White, former basketball assistant and recruiting coordinator at both Kalamazoo College and Wisconsin Stout.
Right.
Correct?
Right.
Now you're the current basketball assistant and recruiting coordinator at Aquinas.
For sure.
Man, what's that transition been like, man?
Well, man, I get to impact lives, man.
Exactly. That's
Bottom line, I might drop some dimes here today, but I'm probably not Division III. No. We're both D3 guys, but being able to walk in somebody's house and offer some scholarship money.
Yeah, that's a
whole different ball of wax. And I know there's some coaches that are still in the MIAA that are not too happy that I'm in a situation where I'm giving out scholarships now.
Right.
So that's the biggest adjustment for me, but it's also a learning curve now too, because now I got to understand how the money works and how the scholarships work and how financial aid works. So I had to get back and sit down with admissions and sit down with the people on campus and not just sit in my cubicle and kind of learn on my own. I learned by going on talking to people.
Right.
So that was the biggest adjustment I had to make going from Division III to NAIA, because a lot of people don't understand. NAIA, you can give scholarship money, but you're not getting a bunch of full rides. Like, you got to understand how it breaks down and that kind of stuff. Right. And my head coach, Ryan Bator, shout out from him, who is from Muskegon, by the way.
Yes, sir.
He did a great job. We were friends for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 years, and was like, man, you in Wisconsin doing this, I can get you doing this here.
Right.
And I was like, let's talk about it then. So that's how I ended up at Aquinas,
like
man.
I be saying, let's get into it.
Yeah, that's good. You ain't saying nothing but a word. Like, let's make this happen.
Right.
So, and it's been nice. We're just going to try to recruit the Mitten, first of all. And we're going to try to recruit Grand Rapids, West Michigan, Muskegon. We're trying to put fence around those areas and get the best players we possibly can and do that. Yeah.
So, where did your coaching career start?
So I started as a 19-year-old, fresh out of college, Joe Hacklin basketball camp, K College, JV coach. I was the same age as the players. I worked the back hallway with football coaches, trainer. Right. We had an agility station, and my first high school coach told me, who was my mentor, said, do everything at 110%.
Absolutely.
So it was the best 12-year-old 11 ladder drill that Coach Hacken basically had ever seen. Didn't even ask me how much money I was going to make. He said, I got a JV spot for you. And I was like, Mom, I'm going to be on the books for a couple more years. I'm going to get this coaching grind.
So you got easily 15 plus in this.
Oh, yeah. We're looking at 18 to be honest.
I ain't want to say 20.
No, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. But it's funny because I've been in a lot of places for a while.
Right.
I've been taught not to puddle jump. Be where your feet are. You know, a lot of young people in this generation want to I need this job, I need that job. I've kind of been known to kind of stay places for a while. Stout was one job I had for 1 year. Everywhere else has been 2-3 years. So it was kind of different. But Wisconsin is the best Division III league in the country. So you get an opportunity to go up there and coach basketball, you jump on that. But still, I have not been the one to jump around a lot.
Right. So today we're gonna get into a few different topics.
Okay.
Today, but a few things I want to touch key on is blacks.
Yes.
In coaching.
Yes.
It's a the way I look at it is, let's talk football coach here, basketball coach there, at any level.
Yes.
Let's talk where you at.
Okay.
And then let's talk up D1, NBA, all of that pros. Majority of the individuals that's playing that sport and making up the talent pool are African American.
Yes, they are.
Right. I think the NBA has 72% African Americans. NFL almost 60%, 67%.
Right.
There's only 10 NFL coaches that are of minority descent.
Right.
And then 3 of those are black. And then the Miami Dolphins just got rid of one.
So now there's 2.
And then you have 13 NBA coaches which are black that, it's never it's never been that many.
Yes.
But so we're gonna talk about that, and we're gonna talk a little bit about some recruiting.
Yeah.
And then talking about how to be professional in certain spaces.
Oh yes, that's huge.
You've got a great experience in being professional in different spaces and
Correct.
knowing how to maneuver in those spaces.
Correct.
So I want you to get some free game on that. So
Yeah,
we ain't gonna
for
waste
sure.
no time. We're gonna get right into it. So as I mentioned, man, what's your thoughts on the disproportion of black head coaches, given the percentages of athletes in football and basketball at the Division I pro, Division II level?
Well, I think it starts with the administration. A lot of young African American males and females want to be pro players. We need more pro ADs.
Yeah.
We need more ADs.
Okay.
We need more deans. We need more provosts.
Right.
Because those are people that sit in committees to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
One of my mentors is Vaughn Washington, who's the director of the County Promise. And not to name drop, but he's been one of the advocates for me talking about, you may not coach forever.
Right.
But you might look to be an administrator.
Right.
Because now a young black coach like yourself, with a little juice, a little energy, a little passion, you know where he's coming from. So hiring him might be a little bit easier. I look at Ward Manuel at Michigan. He hired Juwan Howard for a reason. They're not having the best year this year or whatever, but he's sticking with his guy.
Absolutely.
So I think that's part of it. I think we have to continue to have the education with our young people, younger than you and I, about, we can all go pro in something like the commercial says, but, I wonder how many African American ADs are in the ACC.
Right.
In the Big Ten.
Right.
In the SEC.
Right.
We're having a lot of revolving door in the NBA. We don't have very many owners of African American, so we got to find a way with, we got to leave it better than we found it.
Absolutely.
So we got to help push that narrative. Like, you can go be an AD at a small college and be there 35 years, 45 years.
Right.
Your boss, Jamie Zorbos, has been at K College forever. That's a great thing for him. We need to have that mindset that you can be at some of these smaller levels and make a career out of it. I think a lot of our issue is we're trying to just move too quick.
Okay.
And we're not where our feet are. And we don't understand the process of being in the room and being present and being okay with, I'm in a small school now, but I could be a coordinator here and then go here and be a head coach.
Right.
And then work at that school till I'm 55, 60 and then be an administrator.
Right.
And then when I get a job to get an interview and hire somebody, okay, what was it like when I was coming up? You know what? I like Jared Pittman. You know what? No, I'm the elephant in the room. We're going to hire that guy.
Right.
We traditionally don't. I know we traditionally don't. And that's been the change in the NBA. I think a lot of things that happened in Minnesota and all over the country.
Yeah.
And then the pandemic, people had to sit down and go, you know what? We got to look at this the right way.
It made people reflect.
Yes.
On what the foundation of this country really came from.
Correct.
Right. And then the systems that have been implemented in this country to minimize our marginalized communities, and
yes,
even in the athletic and professional world.
Correct.
Right. So that I totally agree with you on that point of how things happen this summer, pandemic, made people sit down, reflect, and then now it's like, okay, we got all these athletes,
correct,
of this skin complexion, and we don't have enough individuals that's relatable to them.
Correct. So when they go through certain things that we go through, like let's pull the curtain back. How many times have you been fouled by the police?
Absolutely.
I've been fouled by the police in a school issued vehicle.
Right.
With my school colors on the side. In a neighborhood where I got pulled over, off the officer was like, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm driving to a high school game." I got a school color. I mean, if I'm gonna rob a house, it's not gonna wear it. So like.
You
going through that, and then
all black with black Air Forces.
like exactly. You come out and you look and you go, something happens to you on campus. Let's be honest. Who would you come to? Sometimes
You.
When BJ had issues on campus with certain things, you came to me, Coach Shabash. Shout out to him, Coach Riley. Shout out to him. But like, we don't have enough people for our athletes to come to if there's something serious goes on, and maybe it's an academic issue with professor, and I don't want to go to my coach who's not African American because he's going to go, just figure it out.
Right.
So I think we have to be advocates for each other and help our youth understand you can come to me.
And that's why I was so appreciative of you.
Yeah.
Being at Kalamazoo College, because that's a tough place to navigate. As well as I navigated it.
Yes.
That's a tough place to navigate.
Correct.
And having somebody, a backbone, somebody that I can lean on, somebody that can pour into me, that mentor individual, for them 4 years I was there, was truly a difference maker for me.
Well, I stood on the sideline of games for a reason.
Yeah,
sure I didn't stand in the stands because you look in the stands and you don't see us. And you got to think at one point I was the only African American assistant in basketball in the whole conference for like 5 years running.
Yeah, I had no idea that, man.
I mean, you got to think there's only been like 2 black head coaches in the MIAA men's basketball. So to have the opportunity to touch, and I'm a football guy, I love football, You know, I'm a football
right,
guy.
Because you'll be on the sideline. Hey, Pitt, man, you got to watch. See that safety?
Yeah.
See that linebacker?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm cool. And Coach Link was a mentor of mine. You know, we sat down and chopped it up many times. Had meals about recruiting and coaching and working in K. So he was like, you know what? One thing we have to do is advocate, work with each other. And it was easy too because I'm coming to see my wife in the training room. You guys are in there, staying healthy or keeping from getting hurt. So it was easy to come in and check on people. But it was nice because once you were graduated and gone, the guys that were coming in, yo, that's your man, and everybody knew
passed
that.
It down.
Yeah.
What was given to me, the game that was given to me, I would have been doing a disservice to the individuals of the black players, even black students anyway, coming behind me without giving them that game.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? All right, these the individuals. This is a dude in a security office.
Yes.
This is a dude in financial aid.
Yeah.
This is a dude, go see K White. If you just need to just holler at somebody real quick.
You know, I need a haircut.
With K White.
I can't drive 3 hours back to the crib. I need a haircut.
Come
I
on.
got the best barber in Kalamazoo. Shout out to Blends by Dre.
Come on.
But I mean, I have this at home. This is what I'm used to, man. I've been on Kalamazoo for 3 weeks. I had no cracked chicken. I'm ready. I'm homesick and ready to go home. No, I got you. This is where you got to go. Oh, this is just like back at the crib.
Absolutely.
And for me, that's how we make progress. And then when it's 5, 10, 15 years from now, I'm coaching somewhere and you're an AD and you need a football coach and you call me and my list is going to look, I know what you're looking for. And I'm going to remind you what you need to be looking for.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not a determining factor, but we got to be able to get in the room. You got to have the plug, and you got to be able to get in the room. And a lot of these guys are getting jobs because they're already in the room before the interviews even start.
It's truly becoming, and truly has been, but it's truly becoming a who you know word.
Oh, yes.
You know?
Yeah, you got to network.
You have to.
You have to network.
And I tell you, that's one thing that you installed in me.
Yeah, you got to get out off the couch.
Go speak to people.
Yes.
Introduce yourself.
Especially on campus.
Your face is around here.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Open your mouth and advocate for yourself.
You sound like me now.
Come on, man.
Get on it. Don't be walking around.
I ain't pulling your tail.
Yeah,
man.
put your earphones in. I'm just going to walk to class. No, I mean, you're trying to... Jay Smith, my former boss, said you're recruiting fans. People want to come watch people they like. And when you were on campus, people wanted to watch number 20 run that ball.
Come on now.
Now, people may not know this that listen to this podcast, but you did a pretty good job running that ball too. But
Appreciate
it was a guy they liked.
Yeah.
In the cafeteria, you held doors open for people. You know, and I had it still on my freshman players when you became a sophomore and a junior. Hey, when you're on campus, I'm not around. Go see Pitt.
And I'm already Nard, JV,
yes, Bass, yes.
Them three right there. It was like, all right, Pitt. You Pitt? Yeah, I'm Pitt.
Yeah.
Okay, boom.
Yes.
Let's and they have become family away from the crib.
From the crib,
and
yes.
That's just simply just because of me in networking and talking and chopping it up with you, and then you be like, all right, man, this who you need to be
messing with
on campus.
Yes.
Right.
And man, Coach White was on me today. Don't come on my apartment crying about Coach White, bro.
Right.
Like you know why he's doing that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Well, he don't technically coach you. Man, look, I was in the training room once, and Coach White saw me messing around, throwing tape and da-da-da-da. All he did was look at me. My bad, Coach. Like, they didn't understand that you and I were on the same team the whole time. And our team instantly got better because we got talented players who understand the networking on campus and selling it, and still being true to who they are.
Exactly, and that's probably the biggest key right there.
Yes.
You know, they're not diverting from who they originally are, and they are growing.
Yes.
It's growth.
Yes,
right.
For
They're
sure.
changing, but it's a positive change.
Correct.
Right. So, but you kind of hit something that I want to ask next. So, do you feel like black coaches have a smaller margin for error in these spaces?
Amen.
In these leagues.
My man of the Dolphins just got fired at a winning season.
He's actually been he's giving them stability.
Jim Caldwell, Pitt.
I think I ain't put it in the notes, but when I was thinking of that question,
Caldwell,
that automatically came to mind.
And Jim Caldwell, I was blessed to go to a coach's clinic a long time ago. Listen to Jim Caldwell speak. There's no difference between Jim Caldwell and Tony Dungy.
No.
As a personality, people when they have kids, when they get jobs, when they make something, Jim Caldwell's still a big factor in his players and that kind of stuff. It's interesting to me that sometimes people don't want to talk about Carl because it's uncomfortable. But what if it's the truth? What is it? You know, and I think my job and now your job is to make sure that you're prepared for the moment and then be prepared to fail. Yeah. You know, how you gonna balance that out? You know, you got to have a very strong and loving significant other like I got, who's ready to make moves and ready to rock and roll, but is also very dedicated to her craft, to where if something happens and I have to get let go from a coaching position, we're then all of a sudden out on a limb. You know, having your education, that piece of paper, having your network, it's important. But I think a lot of black coaches, like, they think this one job is going to be the job, and it doesn't work well. And then the key with this too is your staff. Be careful. Sometimes we just go hire our boys. Right? We just go hire our boys. You know, I follow Deion Sanders closely now. I didn't very much because he wasn't. Now that he's coaching, you look. You know who his O-line coach is? An older NFL white guy. But he coached in the NFL for like 20 years. He coached O-line. He can go hire his boy who coached O-line. Right. He even got the best O-line. So we have to still do what they do for us. You know, Jim Harbaugh went and got Mike Hart for a reason. He took it from Indiana and brought him back to Michigan. We have to, in these positions, football, basketball, we get to head coaching positions, we got to hire the best coaches, no matter of color, to help us keep our jobs. Because, you know, we got mouths to feed at home.
that's facts.
Yeah, so, you don't win, you're out.
Absolutely. And in the way that sports are set up nowadays, like, it's almost like when you come in, if we're not seeing that growth year one, year two, you on the hot seat. Mel Tucker is in a pretty in a pretty not what's the word I'm looking for, unique situation.
Yes, he is,
because he went with 2-5 in the COVID year, spin the block, get 11-win season. Now you got $95 million over 10 years.
But that first year, who'd he beat?
Michigan. He did.
And everybody knows. So everybody knows I'm a diehard Michigan fan. I was a young boy with my father. May he rest in peace. That's where we went on Saturdays. Was Michigan. 97. Desmond Howard, all those games, I was a little boy in the stands, sneaking in the field. But Mel Tucker got the pass.
Because of that Michigan win.
Because that Michigan win.
Okay.
You know, Juwan Howard goes to the Elite Eight. Now you got the pass.
Right.
You know, so you got to win early.
You got to play the game within the game.
Correct. You got to win early, and then you got to be marketable. You know, Mel Tucker smoking the Cuban cigar after beating Michigan in his back patio. That's what we do.
But they say they gonna come watch what they like.
Yeah, that's what we do. I mean, they're actually. This is funny. I've heard rumor is he might be opening a cigar bar in downtown East Lansing. But why not? He smokes cigars. He's a grown man. Let's go do that now.
He got his feet in different avenues.
Exactly. His people, the people of Lansing of color, have embraced him. So we're gonna do what we do. We're gonna have a glass of Hennessy or Crown, have a cigar, talk shop. Business owners in Lansing, now he's trying to network to them to bring their money to back on campus. So the Michigan, this year's football season was like, that's all right. That's not how it happened. We just gave you the bag now. We can't have 7 years like this.
Right.
But you do get a little pass for beating Michigan and being who you are. One thing I do, I'm not a Michigan State football fan. One thing Mel Tucker does, he keeps it 100.
100. With
the players, the staff,
with the media,
everybody. Media, his post, when they lost to Purdue, he said, we weren't very good and I wasn't very good. You know, sometimes black head coaches in front of the media, I feel afraid to take it on the chin because we look like we're weak. And, you know, you and I have had this conversation about looking like you're weak or soft or not very good. We can't show emotion for some reason.
Right.
We're an emotional generation. You know,
we're emotional beings as humans.
Exactly.
Right.
So to not be able to show emotion, you know, I think it's not who we are.
It's a disservice to yourself.
Exactly. And we were raised differently. And I wasn't raised in a time at home. I don't know about you. But there was no 1, 2, 3, go sit down.
Nah.
Yeah, exactly.
Both of my folks gave it to me.
Oh, I can tell. I mean, it's yes sir, no ma'am when I see mom and dad. And they ain't my parents.
Come on now.
I have walked him and seen him many a time since meeting you, and I make a beeline to behind the bench. People like, where you going? I gotta go say hi to them.
I think K White, but I think besides KG, K White might be the only person in the state of Michigan that got an in everywhere.
Try to.
Everywhere.
I try to.
It ain't a place that I've heard you gone that is like, he don't have not one connection.
No, I try to. I work the phones, man. My wife hates my phone bill. She thinks, like, I literally had to sit her down. I was like, for us to improve our situation, I got to work the phones.
Got to.
So she literally is like, let me see what you do. This is how amazing my wife is. Let me see what you do on these phones. Okay, you're on Twitter. Oh, man, you got 30 DMs from high school players, high school coaches, AU coaches. Okay, so who you texting? Wait a minute, that's Tom Izzo. Wait a minute, that's Juwan, that's Saudi, that's Jay Smith, that's Nate Frisbee. So you so when you're over here on the phone, you ain't playing Fortnite, like you over here talking about camps and players.
It's business.
I'm trying to generate, so if something pops or somebody wants to say, we're looking for something, you know, I got to Aquinas because of that work in that grind, that conversation. Like Coach Patori will tell you, every time he was in a gym somewhere, I was in the gym. The difference was, I had to make the kid pay a full tuition. He could give him a scholarship. So we've lost players. It's funny to Aquinas because of the price point.
Right.
So he noticed again, you can sell it, but the only thing you can't give him is a scholarship. So you come over here with me, the way you grind. Hang on a second.
That's one thing. I think every coach at Kalamazoo College has mentioned, like, if you can recruit at Kalamazoo College,
yes, sir.
You can recruit anywhere.
Every coach there can fit. You got to find a way to make it work, and you got to sell, and you got to outwork the D2, the D3, the Wisconsin. People don't realize that the MIAA isn't a sandwich. You're in the middle of the sandwich when it comes to just literally any sport, especially football. I mean, you've got Worcester and all those schools, Mountain Union to your left, then you got North Central to your right, then you go back up and you got Whitewater, Stevens Point. So you got to be able to hustle and grind. You got to be detailed oriented for sure.
Absolutely. So while going through like the interview process, because you've been through it a few times, what has been like the biggest obstacle that you've experienced?
No head coaching experience is always a question I get asked. And my answer is you can't get it until you get started.
Right.
You know, but the one thing they always draw back on, and for me, was, you know, you've never been a head coach. And I said, well, no one starts as a head coach. Right. Only Jim Boeheim and Mike Krzyzewski started as head coaches. I mean, even Bob Knight had to wait.
Right.
So I think nowadays it's starting to turn. Guys like Chauncey Billups in the NBA and Juwan, Steve Nash, guys that played or worked guys out and started to connect with certain people. So there's a lot of young guys now that are now in the NBA now that I've worked with and trained a little bit, trying to keep connections. I think that's the big obstacle I've always had was, you know, no head coaching experience. But now, you know, my mentors and the coaches that are looking out for me are starting to get my names in the right circles. Like, no, he can move over 6 inches when he's ready.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. So, what are some key things that you've learned about yourself in those situations? How have you handled that? Okay, so how have you handled those things in those environments, in those spaces? And then let's talk a little bit about code switching, right?
Yeah.
So being in the interview room and flipping that switch and switching your vernacular up, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, you have to. You can't build a house without blueprints. So you got to practice your interview. You know, you can't block a linebacker pit if you haven't walked through it. You get out there and you don't know he's coming from the B gap, and all of a sudden, you know, I think I've taken pride in trying to learn from my older mentors about how to practice the interview. And practice the interview with someone who's going to tell you the truth, like that wasn't very good, or you're mumbling too much, that answer's not direct. And you got to know your style and your system and how you want to play and how you want to run a program.
Right. Because
you're the CEO when you go over 6 inches. And then when I interview for assistant coaching jobs, you know, I'm invested in what they want to do, but I have to interview well enough so they understand, okay, he knows what he's doing, and he has a plan to how to help me make my program grow.
Right.
You know, and then there's no ego there. You know, we have a thing at Aquinas called all in all the time, and then with Coach Vittori, I'm all in all the time because he knew that I'm not here to take his job. You know, I'm loyal, and that's a big thing we got to understand tonight is the loyalty in coaching and being around a place for a long time. You got to be loyal to your head coach.
Right.
And when you're interviewing, that's what you get, not sell, but you got to convey over and over and over again. You know, things that we talk about as a staff doesn't make it to my Twitter feed or the other coaches in the league or stuff like that. And then that's going to be the guy who calls for you when you need a head coaching job. You know, I've been blessed to work for Joe Hacklin, Jay Smith, Mike Turner at Albion. Like, I had some guys that, you know, I can walk in coach guy and say, I need a player. Dang, you were so-and-so now? That's great. Like, you're really doing a really good job. So you got to be able to convey loyalty. You got to be able to have a plan. I think you got to have a plan of what you're going to say before you walk in the room and just be totally locked in. You know, and it can't be a day when you have an interview where you're trying to do 5-6 other things that day, then go to your interview. Right. You know, I've literally, before an interview, went up the night before and got a hotel room. Like, it was a game. You know, you traveled a lot for football. You get there the night before, clear your head, make sure the suit's totally clean, dress head to toe, you know, dress for the job you want, not the job you have, be early, you know, and when you walk in the room, you got to command the room. And you got to give ultimate energy, not fake energy, real energy. And do your homework on the people that are interviewing so you know people by first name. And then I'm old school. Mr. and Mrs. goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you in that room, right, do you ever feel like, because you are a black man, that you have to be damn near perfect?
I think you gotta be on your A game, and they're hoping you stumble in some of the interviews I've been in, because they really don't want you to have that.
Right. It's almost like interviewing as a courtesy.
Yeah, it's almost like I'm gonna interview you because, if we don't give it to you, we might have, a Mr. Pittman at the door asking questions that they don't want to answer. Right? Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
Easily go that way.
What do you mean you didn't get it? Explain to me why. His vision wasn't what we were looking for. But then, like my mom always says, God has a plan for me. The reason why places I've interviewed and I've left and didn't get it, that's called what it is. So them schools ain't looking too high right now.
It's spade, man.
I mean, the rosters, some of the rosters, some of the players. And then, like, after I've left some places, like, the kids are still like, Coach, I need something. Okay, I got you. Once you play for me, or I rock with you, even if we didn't end well, we'll use DeMarco Dickerson as an example. His career K didn't end well. He just about to send me his jersey, his pro jersey in the mail. Right. I'm going to frame and put it up on my wall because I could have easily been like, you did me dirty, you didn't go to class, you didn't do what you were supposed to do. This relationship is now tarnished. I'm not going to turn my back on you because you're young and 22 made a mistake. Right. I think a lot of coaches I've worked with have taught me that. As an assistant, you got to be the guy. You got to be good cop more than bad cop a lot of the time. So, yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's 100% true.
So we're going to transition a little bit.
Okay.
So this is my Keep It Player segment.
Gotcha.
So I always try to relate it to the topic at hand. Today we kind of talking about blacks, and coaching. And sometimes there have been cases where blacks have been assistants, right? Or they have just been in a job and they were more qualified than their boss.
Okay.
Right. And being in that space and being in that situation, you still gotta do your job, still gotta be professional, but you also don't want to censor yourself.
Right.
So my question is, like, how you keep it player and professional when dealing with somebody that you're more qualified than?
You make sure he understands how important details of your job are. So if I'm in charge of recruiting, Right. Yeah, this is where you're going tonight. This is who you're going to see.
Okay.
Did you get the vibe there?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Does he have his FAFSA's done? Applications in.
Yeah.
Tuesday and Friday next week. Here's your schedule.
All you gotta do is go do his grip and dream.
Yep. You need a school card. Yep. Marcy's got it. You taking it forward. Get it back because Zorbo needs it tomorrow to go to Tennessee for 6 weeks.
Right.
But hey, man, he's really on his job. Because sometimes you can intimidate those aren't as experienced as you because you're so detail oriented. Right. So they just leave that. They leave that alone. If you know what I'm saying. He's got that, and he'll say, "Oh, I work for him. He's so detailed. So I take pride in being organized." So to me, real quick, like that's the one way in my experience I've done that. Like especially the recruiting aspect, I dot spreadsheets and lists and numbers and contacts and hey, I need this, boom. Hey, I need this, boom. Oh, I lost that kid's file. Oh, here I got a copy right here.
Right.
So then you try to make sure they understand the importance of how valuable you are because they really don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So you're making their job a whole lot easier. And then the people around you that know you grind and know you hustle, like the admissions office, don't worry about it. Kevin will email us.
Right, you the point of contact.
Yeah. Oh, okay. We got a kid coming on campus tomorrow. Yeah, Kevin will send you the thing. It's in your office. He came and got it already.
Right.
Oh, all right. They see what I'm saying? Like, oh, I forgot to email you. I'm sorry. Oh no, Kevin emailed me back. We're good. So at the end of the day, and you put an emphasis on like X and O wise, Coach, what do you want me to do? What side of the ball you want me to have?
Right.
All right. You got defense. You got these 4 scouts. Done. And I'm going back tonight, and until it's right in my mind, I'm not gonna go to sleep. I'm going to have the scout ready and right. And I'm not going through that experience now because the staff now is awesome. But I've been on staffs where, like, if you won and it was your scout, their coaches would kind of be like, yeah, see? And if it was my scout and we lost, it was like, yeah, see, it was his scout. Like, no.
I get it.
Yeah, like, no, it's not like that at all.
Let's kind of talk about that a little bit because, game planning and scouting football is totally different.
Yes, it is.
We got 6 days.
Oh, yes, you do.
Basketball, y'all damn near on back-to-backs.
I mean, I've had 48 hours.
3 and 7.
Yeah.
So is that how it goes? Different coaches have different, games to help prep and scout and things like that. How does that work?
Well, how the scouting works, and that's actually an amazing question for young coaches to hopefully listen to this, and I'm going to help spread the word. Like, that's one of your main jobs as an assistant. Right. It's preparing the team. A good head coach can worry about his team.
Right.
I'm worried about my 12 or 13. Who we playing and what they do, that's your job. So you got to go back 3 or 4 games, and then you got to have a network of coaches that have played against those teams so you can have those conversations off the books.
Right.
Yo, Pitt, you just played Reese Puffer. What they run. And when you play Kendall Hills, let's exchange film.
Yeah.
Shh, don't tell your boss. All right, cool.
Right.
Like I got like 7, 8 guys in my pocket that right now I know when we play so and so and so and so, we gonna have that conversation.
And it's reciprocated.
It's reciprocated.
Right.
And then also, style of play and how we want to defend certain things. So we got to be able to implement our style of play, how we do certain things versus an opponent. And then when we're watching the game, don't get so much caught up watching the game. Is what information do I need to relay to the players?
Right.
So now my conversation with the players has to be different in practice and games, those kind of things. Like, hey, you're guarding 22, he ain't driving left.
Okay.
So today in practice, we're going to do a drill. You make guy drive right every time till you get it right. So I'm a big fan of the Karate Kid because I'm older. But you remember the Karate Kid, paint the fence, sand the floor. That's how I kind of do my scouts. Break it down in little pieces so they understand it. And the verbiage, just like I steal stuff from football. The verbiage and commands we use is very similar to football. So they come down in the court in a certain setup, that has a call.
Right.
So like for football, if they're in 2 high safeties, cover 3, you call that or whatever. I stole that idea from football. And it's kind of helped me in my scouts because guys know, hey, coach, they're in a floppy. We know this is going to be this play that's coming. So when we lose, we watch the film, Pitt, what they in? Floppy. What were you supposed to do?
Right.
Supposed to jump the ball screen. You know why you came out now? Yeah, well, make sure you tell your pops tonight.
Right when he tripping.
When he was tripping on me last night at the game, make sure you remind him that you did guard the floppy set.
Yeah.
So, and I think a lot of times coaches don't borrow from other sports.
Yeah. Okay.
Especially hockey. I steal stuff from hockey because they play so many games and prep and taking care of your body. Hockey players have to really take care of their bodies. They play so many games. So, yeah, as an assistant, I'm trying to steal things.
And it's such a physical sport at that volume of game.
How about this real quick? The Red Wings just played 4 games in California. They play tomorrow at home. Right?
Time change, the physicality of the game.
Right. And I know that's totally out of left field, but think about that. As a coach, you got to scout Thursday, but you're in California, however many hours away. You got to play the Maple Leafs. So you got to sit in the film room at night in your hotel and break that all down and have it ready tomorrow morning when y'all get off the plane. And the head coach is not like, oh, you ain't
really a thankless job.
Yeah, you ain't got it done yet?
What you been doing?
Exactly. So you can't like go out to dinner. And like that's why even like I call my wife real quick. She gets in the football mode. You know it. I bring dinner to the field house.
Yep.
So
when she over here giving me ice and stuff, he bring it in Jimmy John.
Exactly. Like here, I know you ain't eat today.
Right.
So like we switch roles. Even with our little man, like he's 3 now. He understands like, all right, dad's gonna be gone more than mom. But like we bring him to practice and that kind of stuff. You gotta understand the grind. There's a hustle to it, and you got to be detail oriented. You don't want to miss no steps.
I always talk about the small things.
Yes,
small things. Because you can't have the big things without the small things that make it up.
Make it up for sure. For sure.
So that's good game right there.
Yeah,
that's good game for sure. Most definitely making sure that the individual knows how important
the details are.
The details are how important you are and what you do.
Exactly, and what I bring to the table.
Absolutely.
And the best, real quick. The best thing is when you get around someone like Keith Guy, and they're telling you, you know why you're in this room, right?
Yeah.
Why? That guy over there. There's some places I've been where you couldn't get in the gym in Muskegon.
Right.
Some places I've coached, Keith ain't sending no players there.
Right.
But our relationship, I've been able to walk in and kick the door down, like, hold up now. Not all your guys need to go Ferris.
I'm pulling up.
I'm pulling up. Yeah, I need the scripts afterwards. I got you. Got you in the scripts afterwards.
Come on, baby. Let's talk about it.
For sure.
So transitioning one more time, man. Let's talk hoops.
Yeah.
Let's talk basketball, man. That's your stealer right
there.
Yeah,
for sure.
So you pay a lot of attention to basketball, being that is your profession. So what NBA team you got that's got your attention right now in the league?
Well, so I'm very close with Dwayne Washington from the Indiana Pacers.
Right.
2-way contract. He's now starting in the league. Had 20 points the other night. Had 17 versus the Knicks. We talk maybe 3-4 times a week. Very close. Off the court, on the court. My son was born premature, as you know. Was in the hospital. Dwayne hit me like 3-4 times. With my son, we were going through this stuff with my son. So it's bigger than basketball. But I follow the Pacers a lot.
Okay.
I was blessed to coach Devin Booker in AAU. So I follow the Suns a lot, and then I'm always going to follow the Pistons because growing up at my dad's house, we rooted for the Detroit teams. Doesn't mean they were any good, but we root for the Detroit teams. I
don't know why the Lions fans put themselves through.
I don't know why we do it. The nice thing is, my wife's from Colorado now, so I can root for the Denver Broncos.
They ain't no damn better.
No, they not.
They ain't too much better.
Exactly. Now, when Caldwell was with the Lions, I was rocking with him. I bought a shirt, got a hat, like, okay, we good. And then they fired him. I was like, what we doing? So, yeah, I follow probably those 3 teams the most. And then any teams where there's Michigan guys on there, I really like the Memphis because Jaren Jackson is Xavier Tillman. I really don't root for many teams now, and there's just teams I can pick up stuff from.
Okay.
And study. You know, Utah Jazz to me.
So you watch, because I watch football even as a player, but after I had the experience as a coach, I watch football totally different.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So for you, like you probably can't sit and watch a basketball game and enjoy it for the enjoyment of the game.
I'm not going to the library on a Saturday half off, sitting with some friends watching the hoop game because I'm not gonna want to sit around y'all because y'all ain't gonna know what you're talking about. It's gonna be annoying. Why'd he shoot that? He wasn't open. Because it was a play, dummy.
Flow.
Yeah, he was supposed to shoot that.
Offense.
Correct. Like, I literally watch the NCAA tournament. I go to the Final Four every year, but I literally watch the NCAA tournament alone. I don't go out with friends and watch it. I don't go. Pen and pad in front of the TV, taking notes, watching everything, assistants. I can tell who scout it is, what sets teams are running, and then some of these coaches I've been blessed now with my networking.
Right.
But I know a lot of Division I assistants now, so I've been able to have an open conversation. Like, hey, what were y'all trying to do against Oral Roberts?
Okay.
What were y'all trying to run? Because to me, I'm a visual learner.
Right.
I'm not much into reading books, I'm not gonna lie. So I'm better at having those conversations with those coaches and adding that, as I say, add that stuff to your bag. You know, like the set calls comes from Michigan State. Michigan State basketball. That's how they call out sets. They give them names on defense.
Right.
So that's where I stole that from or borrowed. So yeah, I don't watch the game like I'm not an avid fan. You can be frustrating. Like, Pitt, shut up. You know,
it's kind of like how my sister, because she's a film student at Howard.
Yeah.
So watching a movie with her just be totally different.
You can pick up if you're listening to her, she'll put you on game.
Oh, absolutely. And I even because of that, I watch movies differently.
Yes.
Or I pay attention to a little bit how actors are playing a certain role or playing a certain scene. But that's just that. But I totally get what you're saying.
It's just different for me because I'm always trying to learn. You know, and I'm probably down that L. Just to continue to learn, and I like watching old games. Okay. You know, you can pick up stuff from old games and older coaches that did it. You know, John Chaney is one of my favorite coaches. John Thompson. You see the path I'm going out here. Noah Richardson in Arkansas. Yep. They did it at a high level at a time where you weren't an African American head coach and doing it. I mean, John Thompson, Georgetown walking the gym, people were scared. You know, so
not only was they coach physically imposing individual, but
the way they play. People talk about the bad boys. Georgetown basketball back then was the bad boy. You went to the whole tap. Georgetown was tap tapping people. You know? But then he also changed Allen Iverson's life. Allen Iverson can tell you. He had no business going to Georgetown. Took a chance on a guy like you will, like I have, that nobody else wanted. So I think watching the game and studying the game, I take too much pride in just sit back and enjoy it. I can sit down with my wife and watch a movie and enjoy it. If it's a basketball game on, the switch gets turned on.
You're locked in. Yeah. So I got to know this answer. And you gave it to me already. Yeah. But I want the people to know.
I'm going to shock some people with this one.
Because you did me for sure.
Yeah, I know I did.
Who is your GOAT?
Isaiah Thomas.
You got Jordan. You got Kobe. You got Kareem. Goddamn, you got Bron. But you chose Isaiah Thomas. I need to know your rationale behind that.
Respect them all. But all the guys you named are 6'8".
Okay. Oh, shh.
And there was.
That's a great point.
The Detroit Pistons weren't the Detroit Pistons until Isaiah got there. I won a game. I liked Isaiah. He was a game changer. The dream team stuff, respected, didn't get it. He put that in his relationship with Jordan. You ain't gonna like everybody you hoop against.
Right.
You know, we could have a conversation about Mona Shores Muskegon right now. Yeah, I know somebody's chest gonna perk up. There's not. Somebody told me the Mona Shores Muskegon ain't really no rivalry.
Yeah, and I said it.
Yeah. See what I'm saying? So, I mean, I like that about Isaiah Thomas. Right. I kind of played with Edge growing up because that's what I mirror. I grew up in the driveway playing that way. But I grew up in an era when you were 13, 14 playing against 19, 20-year-olds in the park. Yeah. We didn't have no courthouse league. You had to go out there and stand out there all day till you got picked up. Okay. Don't go out there and not be able to guard nobody or turn the ball over. Because some of the games I was playing in, I didn't know at the time, there was money on the line. I was the last guy to get picked up, so they had to put me on the court. So Isaiah Thomas is my guy for multiple reasons. One reason is because he changed the narrative of Detroit basketball. He should be the Pistons. Like the Pistons weren't the Pistons till he got there. And he got other people to come play with him and stay with him. As good as Joe Dumars was, in this day and age, Joe Dumars would have left and went somewhere else. Right. He stayed in Detroit. Say what you want about Bill Laimbeer. We wouldn't know who Dennis Rodman was if he wouldn't play for the Pistons. Right. Take away all the other stuff. They taught him how to be the best at his job, and they embraced who he was as a person. So that's why I rock with Isaiah Thomas.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I see where you what really got me was the fact that you said everybody that I had mentioned previously was 6'6" and up.
They are.
Thomas 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2", maybe.
To the cup. You know? Everybody needs to go watch his highlights and really look. Wait a minute. He go in there with Robert Parrish. This dude's 7 foot, and he finger roll over the top of him, between the legs, step back. Like, wait a minute, you're 6 foot. I'm not black, but I know you're 6 foot tall.
Right.
The NBA, and back then there was no flagrant 1, flagrant 2.
Right.
You know, and that's why I can appreciate Steph Curry because he's not 6'7", 6'8". You know, it's a big man's league. It's guard orient, but you gotta have size.
That's kind of going into my next point. So how you feel about the evolvement of the game? How everybody on the court damn near got guard skill sets. Even a 4 and a 5. You know, it's a stretch 4 league.
Yes. Well, we're late. So the Europeans got tired of getting beaten in the Olympics. So they took what we did and rearranged it. They said, our tall guys, we're going to teach them how to dribble.
Okay.
Our tall players, we're going to teach them how to shoot in the perimeter.
Right.
So the Americans we were late to the party, and then the Europeans coming over and they started taking our money. Dirk. Right? Yeah. Ginobili, Tony Parker, like, whoa, you know, the Euro step is Ginobili's move. That wasn't invented in America.
Right.
So we've caught up with the European players, and we're now allowing our big men to do what they weren't allowed to do in the past. But back then we had Shaq.
Because I remember at a point, man, I can vividly hear my dad in my ear right now saying, "Man, if you don't get your big ass on the block,
yeah, throw it in the post,
floating around the 3-point line." But that was not too long. That was about 6-7 years ago. Now it's like, pop it to the corner, knock this 3 down.
Like, spread the floor.
Yep.
Shoot the 3. We want spacing. We want to be able to move the ball quickly.
4 out, 1 in.
4 out, 1 win. And then defensively, we're looking for mismatches.
Right.
You know, we want to switch. Now the biggest guarding a guard. Then maybe we'll dive the big to the basket. But the NBA has really evolved and changed because everybody can shoot now.
Yep.
You know, but it started when these guys were. Let me get this straight. When Steph Curry and those guys were in travel basketball, that's when that started.
Right. Because
the NBA players started doing it then. So everything starts with youth sports. People think it trickles down. It trickles up. You know, so like when Steph Curry and those guys were shooting 30-footers, Steph was doing that in AAU, just getting frowned upon. He just started making them. So other kids started shooting them and making them, and so it was like, oh, wait a minute, this is what we do. You know, like, and now travel basketball, people have their opinion on that, but like, we don't have the park. You drive by a park right now, it's empty. There's no hoops up.
Right.
You know, so even where you're from and I'm from, it's different.
Yeah. So I kind of want to get your opinion on how you feel about this Kyrie Irving situation, the vaccine, and him missing time and being a part-time professional NBA player.
So I've been, you know, there's a coach in a bunch of group chats. Everybody has their personal opinion on the vaccine and that kind of stuff. And my thing is, you got to do what's best for your body, and that's not my opinion. Being raised in a house with an athletic trainer, your job is to take care of you, but there's, you know, if you don't come to treatment, you can't play Saturday. So you've making that choice for yourself. My opinion on Kyrie, really, like, he's doing what he thinks is best for him and his family. You know, I think sometimes people want to give their opinion on what's best for him, but we only know what Kyrie tells us. We don't know what he's going through day to day.
True.
We don't know what his mental state is at. We don't know we're not his doctor. You know, for me, I think he's doing what's best for him. You know, now is that what's best for the Brooklyn Nets? When he's out there, we know what's best for him. When they winning, but I think he's doing what's best for him, and that's probably not, you know, the most popular answer. People, oh, what do you think? And people have asked me because, you know, when you're a coach and you're coaching for a while now, like, people want, what do you think about so and so? Like, man, I don't know where that guy's head's at. You know, I know we're doing an AQ with our guys and what they want to play, so they're taking the steps to be able to play and being safe, but we don't know what Kyrie's going through. You know, I think it's important for him to do his best, and the Nets are being professional as possible about it without having to, like, get rid of him. So hopefully, I think at the end of the day, he's going to continue to do his best for him. You know, because his body is his office. This is its machine. So
that's his moneymaker.
And he's been in the league for a while now. People forgetting.
Yeah, he did the one and done. I mean, yeah, he did the one and done. That dude.
He was a Duke for some. People don't realize real quick, when you do the one and done, you're not even there for a year.
Nah.
You get there in like August and you leave in March.
Yep.
You know, you're not even there a whole calendar year. So, like, he was right in the NBA to that grind, and that's summer league, that's Olympics, that's so the toll on your body. As somebody who played college football, you feel probably a lot better now than you did freshman and sophomore year. Exactly.
It's the best shape I ever been in.
Exactly. So, yeah, that's where I think Kyrie is at. You know, he's probably thinking, how many more years am I going to play?
Right.
Does anyone ever think everybody ever asked him that?
I'm sure somebody has.
Yeah, does that play into the whole getting the vaccine, getting out of that? Like, I could walk him off. He's one of those kind of guys to me. He could walk him in. You know what? I'm good.
Right, because he got other. It's not like he don't have other business ventures.
Because he's decided to go, and when you start to go that route, and you wake up in the morning and the knees start to ache, and it's like, wait a minute, I can dab into this. And the things he's dabbing into are good adventures that are going to help more than just the NBA fan.
Yeah.
You know, he's trying to do schools and book readings and educate people. Like, sometimes in your life,
money into certain, companies.
Yeah, so he's trying to think, you know what? The next 40 years, what am I going to do? We always talk about the K. The next 40 years, what's our plan? In his mindset, he may be like, you know what? It's time to look and do other stuff. And I could probably always do this hoop thing, but I'm an ankle or knee away and being done.
Right.
Yep.
So make it make sense for me, man. I'm a Bron fan.
Yeah.
What's up with these Lakers, man?
Are
they? Is it just the fact that they old, or is it the usual LeBron situation? He need before the All-Star break to learn his team and get that routine and get the rhythm down with his dudes, and after that he flipped that switch and it's a go time.
Well, they struggle to stay healthy. In my opinion, this is all my opinion, by the way. They struggle to stay healthy, and then they don't defend at a high level.
Okay.
Because
and that's what Frank Vogel hang his hat on, right?
He's known for that, but now you're coaching guys like, man, I'm not coming to practice and doing loose ball, jump to the ball drill.
Right.
Like, I'm an NBA veteran. You got rookies out here. So I think for the Lakers to be successful, they got to do two things. Play guys in minutes where the young guys understand the importance of their role. Like, hey, you out here to guard, bro.
Right.
You ain't out here to shoot. And then understand we got to put ourselves in position to get in the playoffs in a spot where we know we can get to the finals. Because then if they get to the finals, it's...
The West tough.
Yes, it is.
The West is tough.
Yes.
It's that 1-8 matchup.
Right.
It's gonna be a conference final energy.
And you got to think like Chris Paul is the oldest player on the Suns. He's the old head. The Lakers have 3 Chris Pauls.
Dude.
So when you peel it back, you think about they got 3 in him.
Yeah.
So that's 3 ice baths, 3 extra massages, 3 extra, and then when Chris Paul can't play or can't go, DB just go play the point.
Right.
Okay, I got it.
You bring what's dog name number 15 for the
lefty. Yeah, sniper.
Him. He nice.
Yes.
I'm pissed I can't remember his name, but he nice.
But again, wasn't an impact player in college. It's a grind. They have some grind, like Jay Crowder. Has been on multiple teams in the NBA. And again, the coach Monty Williams, who's doing an amazing job. Outstanding is letting the guys. He created an offense that fits the kids that he has. So I think Frank Vogel back to the Lakers has got to figure out a way to galvanize the young dudes with the old dudes. If that's breaking down roles. There's a podcast with Earl Watson when he was an assistant head coach for Phoenix. He sat down and went by every guy and told them what they needed to do. And that was the first year he told Devin Booker, you're going to shoot the ball 25 times a game. If you don't, you're not going to play the next game. And since then, DB's been rolling.
Yeah. Okay. So, I've been on social media, there's been these comparisons of Ja Morant to Derrick Rose and the Derrick Rose MVP season. I don't really think people really understand and remember how dominant and how explosive Derrick Rose was in that MVP season. He's just in his prime in Chicago.
Correct.
So I want your opinion on that, man.
Well, I was blessed to watch Derrick Rose play in the All-Star game in Milwaukee. And he was on court 1 warming up. And every coach had a responsibility to go watch something else. And we said, screw it, we're going to court 1. He went between the legs, windmill dunk, and I was like, I'm not recruiting this kid over here. Like, he can go if he come to our school, he's coming. I'm going to watch this guy. But back then, you didn't have flavor 1s. You didn't have flavor 2s.
Right.
Derrick was going through the air, free flowing with dudes who were like, I'm going to take your head off.
The air. Yeah.
Right. Now, you tap Ja Morant, we got to stop the game, go over to the monitor. And not saying Ja Morant's not a good player, but I just think Derrick came in at a time where he knew I got to go get it. In Memphis isn't one of those organizations that's like Chicago has history. Josh trying to make it that way, but I think Derrick was just a different breed. Even at Simeon, I slept and go watch him play in a high school game. 47.5. In a hat, and it was jumpers. It was to the basket. Was posting up. It was talking to the bench, talking to the team, who would guard their team's best player. So I just think people want to make comparisons of players. I'm always an advocate of different time.
Okay.
Like, let's go to your neck of the woods, football. Jim Brown, Walter Payton. It's a different time.
Yeah.
Respect their grind and when they did it.
Even the equipment make a difference.
Yes. In football and in basketball, the style of play is different. The lane is there wasn't defense of 3 seconds like that in Derrick Rose's. So there was a 7-footer down there waiting on you.
Camping out.
Now you got to be outside the paint. You can't be in there longer than 3 seconds. And the offense is all about shooting jumpers. So you can't stay in the lane. So you got an athlete like him. He can be able to get to the basketball. Like the block he had the other night.
Yeah.
Whoa. Amazing athlete. But back then they might have called that a goaltend. Okay. You know? So I just think the game is different. In a good way. This era features more athletic, more skilled guys than back then. But you got to give those guys credit. They wouldn't have got there without these dudes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So before we close out, let's talk a little bit about recruiting.
Okay.
So let's give out some game for any of the young boys out here listening that's want to be a collegiate athlete in whatever sport. So as a recruiter, what's the number one thing that you're looking for in a kid besides his grades? That's always the first question. What your grades look like?
Yeah. I'm gonna put a puzzle together, and I have these pieces. They're called seniors. They're about to leave.
Right.
I'm trying to replace these incoming freshmen or guys on my roster with the same kind of players. So if you come watch us play, what you didn't come do, by the way, don't think I haven't forgot, you're going to see some guys that we're recruiting and go, okay, now I know KY. That kid from that school plays like the kid who's about to graduate. Their games are similar. I'm just plugging in the same pieces. And then you got to follow your boss's lead also on some things too, like we need this, we need that. It's my job to go out and find that what's best fit. Then I need to have a relationship with the high school coach, the travel coach, and then people in his circle. So we'll go. For example, we'll use Muskegon for example. Not too many times I'm not going to watch a Muskegon player play. Not only talk to KG, but I'm going to talk to Pops, but I'm also going to talk to Mom too. Because Mom's going to say, yeah, his parents really don't. Yeah, they're Muskegon people, but they really be out there doing something they're not supposed to. Or they're good people, let me talk to you for.
Right.
Let them monitor you for a second. So you got to have people like that and be connected and have a network. So if you're a high school player, you want to touch as many people in your high school as possible because you know who's watching you.
Right.
You want to build a relationship with the janitor, the lady taking tickets,
everybody
to advocate for you because now I'm in a situation where I can give a little money. Yeah. So I want to make sure I'm giving it out to the right people. I don't want to get burned.
Right.
And I don't want. I think I want to put the puzzle piece together because right now we're winning right now with good guys. I don't want to coach bad guys. Right. So when I'm recruiting, I'm looking at you got to have the right fit. Like if you decide to hoop, you could have played for me because you're a good guy. Off the court, I'm not, all right, we're going to the hotel for 3 days. We're down in California. I know Pitt ain't going to sneak out the night before a game and get in some trouble. Like, that's the kind of stuff you get assistant coach fired. Because I recruited you. So the boss going to go, you brought him in here. You didn't know he did that?
Because you're going to get the praise for that dude boiling out, but you also going to get that heckling.
He missed class. He missed study table. He late to the bus. It's a big thing I tell freshmen, like if we're on a game and coach says wear this travel suit, don't wear the top and not wear the bottoms.
Right.
Don't not wear the team shoes and wear the wrong hat, right?
Hey, man, because I'm thinking about it because you're right.
Yes.
But I was the individual.
You were that guy who did that.
I was the individual who I don't want to look like everybody else.
Exactly. Not freshman year.
No.
Freshman year.
When I was the man. When I solidified myself as being the man.
Yes.
I had
when you get 20, 30 carries a game, wear what you want. But freshman year, put your travel suit on.
Zip it all the way up.
Zip it all the way up. Yeah, I've seen the folder itinerary to Zorbo. Shout out to Coach Zorbo. I've seen it. Wear this, and this. Yep. And I be like, and I tell our players all the time, like when you come in as a freshman and the recruiting process is over, but in the recruiting process, like I got a relationship with you.
Right.
Like if you don't hit me back,
okay, that was my next
and
question.
you don't respond to text, and you direct me, you don't email me, and now in March, yo, coach, what's up? Come on, man, it's like dating, it's too late. I need a date for the dance.
I made this comparison a while ago. I said recruiting is like having hoes. You courting everybody.
Yeah.
You entertaining a whole bunch of people. But the end not guaranteed.
No, it's not.
It's not guaranteed.
No, it's not.
You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not.
So that you already kind of hit on my next question. Yeah. Like what are you expecting out of a recruit in that process? Because I tell all the guys that I recruited and I recruit, it's a two-way street, man.
Yeah, man.
As I'm communicating with you, you got to communicate with me.
Yes, you do.
You know what I'm saying? I'm asking you certain questions. I need more
feedback.
Than just
yes.
Yeah,
no.
coach, that's cool. You want to come with the visit? Yeah.
You sure you do?
Come on, man. Like,
yeah, you sure you do?
What's your interest?
Yeah.
I don't really like doing too much. I need to know because this is intel I'm taking in. I'm jotting down in our notes. Cause I go back to Coach Z like, all right, this kid like this. He want to study this. This is who we should be, plugging in with as far as an alum.
Right.
All of that good stuff.
Yes. So when he comes on campus, it's all laid out. If you're giving me nothing, then I'm on to the
I
next
ain't feeling
kid.
Kalamazoo. I ain't feeling Aquinas. I ain't feeling Kalamazoo College because they da. What did you give? What did you give me to work with?
Correct.
You know.
Correct.
So for me, I think it's that communication.
Huge.
Right. And then it's the honesty from both parties. Like, cause you and I, we not selling dreams. We not sugarcoating nothing.
No.
We keep it in a bill. We put it on the table.
Yeah.
But I need you to be honest with me as well. What you looking for in an institution?
And one thing I tell them too is, if you look at our roster,
Mm-hmm.
you know, this, you know, hopefully some recruits watch this.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a 6'8", 6'9" basketball player now,
Mm-hmm.
and you're looking at Aquinas College, you probably should be, because we have one on our roster.
Right.
So if you're an 2022 young man,
Right.
and you play in the post,
Holla at me.
you might wanna.
We dropping socials at the end of the episode.
I mean, let's be honest. Like, wait a minute. In 2022, 2020, 2023, we need size.
Yeah.
In basketball, gotta have linemen. You can never enough.
Yep.
So, but you also gotta be realistic with who's really recruiting you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I got a letter from this D2 school, the gentleman you just interviewed.
They always throw it
Yeah,
out to
like
everybody.
it's you got an email. Like, I've spent the 2 practices in 4 games.
Mm-hmm.
I got a 3-year-old at home. I could be at the crib, and I grind like it's like I try to make my situation be where my feet are. I've said it a couple times. Like, I feel like we're Duke. I'm Dwayne Stevens. I walk in the gym, dang, he's here. Like, so I tell guys, I was like, so what schools are recruiting me? And they give me a bunch of schools. I was like, oh, how many times they come see you play?
Right.
See how quiet this got? Well, they text me every now and then. Okay, because I've driven 4 hours round trip 3 times. We offered. What we waiting on? Well, I think this D2 in. Okay. So you're not interested? No. Well, you're really not interested. So
Right.
I have to do my job. As a recruiting coordinator, my job is to get us to help help our roster. So I was like being a general manager. I got to help make sure all the pieces are in place.
Right,
so I don't have
together.
time to waste on a kid who's 1 foot in, 1 foot out, or trying to feel it around. And one thing I do, it's a tip for coaches coming up, is have a relationship with other coaches at bigger schools. Like, I can call I know every coach in the GLIAC. So you telling me you're being recruited by Northwood, Lonnie Griffin, Kevin White. You talking to Jared Pittman? No, I'm too short. Can't go left.
That's the one thing.
Like
they're not being honest with themselves.
Yeah, like okay, and then I don't want to throw it back in the kid's face, but in the back of my mind, I know
It's a mental note.
like you don't liking us, but you're not really the schools you're talking to. I have no problem picking up the phone and asking them, because like if they are like, hey Kevin, you know what? We about to offer Pitt.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Hey, Pitt, Coach White. Talk to a couple of GLIAC schools. Keep hooping. You might have some good news coming your way. If you're still interested in us, cool. If something happens, if I were you, the way you play, I think this school in the GLIAC fits best for you. I've had kids be like, Coach, for real? Like, yeah, that coach has been there 15 years. This guy just got there. You might want to go with that school. Your high school presses, this team plays zone. You're a full court kind of guy. And they'll be on the phone like, Coach, you're kind of like selling me to. Because I know first of all, you're not coming to my league.
Right. Right.
1, and 2, I want you to know that I've done my homework on you and your game, and I've now advocated. I've had some guys we've lost have gone on to other schools at bigger leagues that, they came to our place and been really good.
And I think that's just because, genuinely, that's just the type of person you are.
Yeah.
You want the best for anybody that you interact with.
Amen. That's how I was raised. Yeah.
And that's how I was raised, and that's how I recruit. Like, priority number 1, hell yeah, I want you to come be a Hornet. Hell yeah, I want you to come be a Saint.
Yeah.
Right? But at the end of the day, I know if I'm not the fit for you, I wish you your best in your future endeavors, right?
Correct.
And that's not coming from a place of, it sound good. That's genuine, because I've talked to kids just like you talk to kids, and they're like, you know what, Coach, man, I don't, K college might be too much for me. Okay, I'm gonna still recruit you,
right?
But at the same time, I'm telling you, man, these are things that you need to implement into your own being to be good and be your best self anywhere you go.
Anywhere you go.
That's not just here
after college, after in life, and you could always, my number don't change. It's been the same number forever, and I think I've had a lot of guys. When I came to Aquinas, there were some guys that had just committed to school, so I got texts. What can you do like 2 weeks ago? Why couldn't you do like last month?
If your number changed, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know what I do.
You gotta reach out to.
Yeah,
it's my new number.
Yeah, exactly. It's good to have a network, but you gotta build it.
Yeah.
The car, and I make the hour commute. And the nice thing I do now is I've trained myself a little personal growth. When I hit the driveway, the phone gets put away. Now I gotta be husband, I gotta be dad.
Yep.
5-6 years ago, phone probably would have stayed out. I gotta stay on it. You know, every time there's a MAC game and a MAC team wins or loses, I'm texting the coach, congratulations, or hey, good game, I watched it. Now I even when I get a little older, I got an emphasis on family. And I learned that from some of my mentors. And I'm like, yeah, priorities. And I think in recruiting, you got to give some kids some space too. I don't need to come watch you play all the time. Now, I have a track in my phone when you have a game. And I hit you with the real when I come watch you play. Like, man, you could have got a couple more rebounds, my guy. You know, and I want you to come watch us practice and play. A lot of high school athletes don't even understand the importance of going to watch the schools that recruit you. If they want you to come to your school, not only want you to come visit, come watch us practice. Because the curtain is pulled all the way back in practice.
Absolutely.
You sitting right down there, you can hear me, there ain't no music, there ain't no fans. If you're a kid who's, you know, not really big into getting cussed at and yell and that's someone not your coaching style, or you kind of like that we get up and down and scrimmage a lot, the drills we do are similar. You know, I've gotten recruits, Jannard, just on our way Coach Smith ran practice. His parents were like, whoa, this is like his high school. He needs this. And then gym access. You know, Jannard stayed in the gym. So when he was ready to transfer, and now he's at Stout, by the way, he's got 24-hour access. His new boss, my new old boss, Coach Lake, called me. He was like, you didn't tell me the security guys wouldn't, like, Jannard learned, be cool with the security guy. So the security guy Stout was like, yeah, man, he brings me candy, like, he has my personal number when I'm working. He hits me up. He's never in there with a bunch of us screwing around. I was like, Jannard was a quiet guy when he came to K. Got him around the right people, and he learned the network to get what he wanted at the end. I want to get in the gym. I don't want to break no rules, but who can help me get to where I have to go? So I think in the recruiting process, you got to help them teach that too. You got to help them teach that. I think recruiting it's a fun job, man. It is.
Yep, absolutely, man. I think that's good content. K. White, man, I appreciate you again. I just want to give you your flowers, man, for being a pillar in my growth. From when I moved to Kalamazoo to now, man, you've played an extreme role in my life, man, and getting me to where I am and get me to where I want to be, man. It's never a moment. You just told me the other day, send me out the blue, send me your resume.
Yeah, I sent it out to some
Shot it up. See what I'm saying?
Sent it out to I can be a bit aggressive at times because people, I'm looking for somebody who can da 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 da. Right. Or I got a guy, but he ain't no half stepper now. Like don't. I had to tell the guy who was asking about you, like, is this an interview or this an opportunity? Right. He was like, what do you mean? I was like, are you interviewing people so your boss says you interviewed X, Y, and Z? You know, because you got to, you know, the first question we get asked nowadays, do you have a degree? Yeah, where'd you go to school? K College. Oh. Right. And I never tell them what color you are. But sometimes they assume, well, they play football. Lineman? And then the nugget was, no, he's running back. And my guy kind of puts, oh, wait a minute. It's the kid from Muskegon, isn't it? Yeah, it's him. Yeah. And, of course, he has a connection to people who know your pops, stuff like that. But it was just interesting to me how, like, I need you to pay it forward. And there's some young cats out there right now. Hopefully we can get this to as many people as possible. As a black men, that's what we got to start doing. Yeah. We have to do a much better job of that. Absolutely. Got to help get. We don't got to get in the interview. We got to get in the room. Because once we get in the room and they see how we operate, we're going to start getting jobs. We showed them. Yeah, we showed them. Like Chauncey Billups, I know Chauncey Billups knocked the interview out. So we got to help do a better job, help each other out. So, man, most definitely, thank you. Yeah. Thank you for taking your time. Anytime. You know me. And sitting down. You got a game tomorrow, so I know you got to go ahead and get some. I'm going to watch a little bit of film. Get some business hand to go kick it with Vincent and Kathleen. Yes, man. For sure. But that's another episode of HomeFLD The Podcast, baby. Go ahead, man, and y'all follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify at HomeFLD The Podcast. If you want to watch it, it's on YouTube at HomeFLD Media. Go ahead and follow me. I changed my Instagram and Twitter name because I was tired of saying XX. So it's pitt.otl. Okay? That's on Instagram, and then pitt.otl_ on Twitter. Go ahead and shout out your socials, man. So my Twitter handle is KQ_White, and then that's Coach White, all caps, on Instagram. I'm more of a Twitter guy than Instagram because I'm a little older. But for all the high school players out there, we're going to get this too. You know, if you're interested in playing at the next level, you know, get a hold of me as soon as possible. There's opportunities out there for everybody. Yes, sir, man. That's another episode of HomeFLD The Podcast, baby. We'll catch y'all in the next one in a minute.